Hello English 100 students. I wanted to go over with you a little more detail on your description essay in preparation for this assignment. So by now you should have read through all the information on the description essay, but I want to give you some tips and pointers before you complete it. Now, the description essay is going to explain a person, a place, a thing, or an event. It can be anything of your choosing, but the point of this is to describe whatever it is that you have chosen in vivid, exact details. So much so that the reader is going to feel like they're actually a part of whatever it is you're describing. So if you're describing a person who's affected your life, the reader should be able to feel like they've actually met this person, that they've maybe had a conversation with them or experienced time with them. If you've decided to describe cooking something or a recipe, the reader should feel like they're actually there with you making this recipe, whether it's banana bread or pizza or whatever it is. So whatever it is that you choose to write on, just make sure that your descriptions are vivid and detailed. And we do this by using three things. Sensory details, you want to show the reader, not just tell them, and you want to use figurative language. Now, sensory details. So your sensory details are all of your five senses, okay? Sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch, okay? Now, what you want to do in your descriptive writing is you want to include as much sensory information as possible. When you're doing the outline of your essay, please write down as much sensory detail as possible that's applicable to your topic. Describe the way things smell, the sensation of the touch, what you hear or what you heard. Maybe if you're describing a person, the sound of their voice or certain things that they say. If you're describing a place, what ambient sounds that you hear. And of course, what you see. These little details, the smells, the sounds, what you feel, can increase the realistic appeal of your writing, and it will make the reader feel like they're actually there experiencing it. Show, don't tell. We hear this a lot, but what does it mean? Well, what it means is that you should show the reader what you're going through rather than just telling them. Instead of saying, I was scared, and so I hid under the stairs, then my grandma yelled at me because she didn't understand why I was scared. You would want to explain this to the reader in a way that shows them what you went through, not just tells them what you went through. So instead of what I just described, I might write that passage something like this. As I quivered, I ducked under the stairs because I felt like it could hide me from everything that was going wrong. I was frightened. I closed my eyes tightly and I smelled the dust gathering around me. I could hear footsteps coming closer and I clenched my fists. I huddled in tighter, afraid of what was going to come next. Then I heard my grandmother's voice. What are you doing? Smack! A sharp pain to the back of my head. And my grandmother told me, screaming, yelling in that sharp, shrill voice. It's just a little bug. So that short example is showing you what happened rather than just telling you what happened. I described some sensory details of what I went through in this experience. I talked about being under the stairs and what happened and how I was trying to hide. Then I talked about my grandmother smacking me upside the back of the head and telling me not to be afraid of the bug. I showed it to you rather than just telling it to you, which is going to take more words and more details, but it's going to be more exciting for the reader as well. Finally, you're also going to want to add in some figurative language. Figurative language like similes, hyperbole, metaphor. This is going to increase the relatability of your reading. It's also going to make it much more interesting for the reader to read and go through. So I know that we've had a lesson in descriptions on figurative language. So if you're not sure how to add it in or what to do, go back to those lessons, or you can Google it or look it up on YouTube. But definitely sprinkle in some figurative language. It'll make your writing much more interesting and much more descriptive. Finally, when you write your descriptive essay, your description essay is based on whatever topic you've chosen. Now from there, you want to make sure that you outline it properly. Every essay needs three things: your introduction paragraph, your body paragraphs, and then the conclusion. So in your introduction paragraph, you should give a good overview or introduction to whatever it is your topic is. And then in the next few paragraphs, if it's a 5-paragraph essay, it should be 3 paragraphs minimum to make a 5-paragraph essay. But if you want to do more than 5 paragraphs, you can write as many paragraphs as possible until you have totally described whatever it is that you're writing about. Then at the end, you're going to want to do your conclusion paragraph. The conclusion paragraph should summarize what you've just talked about and give a good ending conclusion to what it is that you're describing. So in your description essay, introduce what you're describing and talk about it. Then do all your body paragraphs in the next 3 to however many paragraphs it takes. And then the final paragraph should be a conclusion paragraph that wraps it all up and makes us feel like we've come to a proper conclusion. I hope that this helps you in your description essay. I wish you the best of luck in it. And if you have any issues, please email me. Thank you.